Hey, it's Bill again, and I've got the lights down a little bit because I'm super pumped and excited to review the second album from Fans of the Dark. It just came out on September 16th. It's called Suburbia. So, in a recent interview with Freddie Allen, their drummer and main songwriter, and Alex Falk, their awesome vocalist, they said that this album is kind of a sibling to the first album. And I wonder if they didn't have some of these songs kind of in the mix with some of the songs they wrote for the first album, or maybe these all came at a later session. I don't know. I'd be really curious to find out. But they are kind of in the same vein of the first album, same themes. We'll get into some of that. And you can start off with the cover of the album, which has that same kind of mutant character from the first CD where he was coming out of a movie theater that was playing Hitchcock movies. And on the cover of Suburbia, he's out in the rain, he's got his backpack still on, his goggles hanging down, and he's looking at a sign that says Suburbia. So I'm guessing that's kind of speaks to, horror, suspense movies from the 80s, a lot of which kind of took place in Suburbia, kind of generic America kind of thing. So it seems like this character is kind of exploring the world a little bit. I hope they keep him. I hope this is kind of like their version of Iron Maiden's character, although this one's a little bit toned down, but I'm curious to see where he explores next. So hopefully that's an ongoing thing. All right, so let's get right to the CD. The first track, Night of the Living Dead. They released that song, I think it was about 2 months ago now, as the first single. And I remember hearing it that first time, and to me, this could be song of the year. It's catchy as hell. The opening guitar riff is awesome. The vocals are great. The verses, the pre-chorus, the chorus, the solo, everything about it. It does scream kind of a little bit more mainstream, kind of commercial 80s type sound. I love that stuff. It's just an awesome song. The video's great too, loads of fun. Obviously an ode to Night of the Living Dead, the movie. And it even starts off with a line from the movie, "They're coming to get you, Barbara." Kind of a humorous way to start it off. So what a great, great song. Again, for me, it could be song of the year. For a while there, I felt like I needed to hear it like 5 times a day. It was that catchy. So great way to lead off the new album. All right, track number 2, Pirates of Maine. The first album, they had a couple of songs that were roughly 8 minutes, and this one is just about 8 minutes as well. And this one's very different than the first track. Kind of methodical, builds up to what I would say is kind of an in-your-face and then soaring chorus where Alex Falk really kind of drives one of the words, one of the notes home, and just takes it to another level like he seemingly does all the time with their music. What a unique vocalist. Great frontman, and just really versatile voice. So he really hammers it home on this one. And like they tend to do with their longer songs, about halfway through the song changes in a big way and kind of gets into this chant. The only way I can describe it, when I really think about what it reminds me of, it's maybe something that Gary Hughes would do with 10 on some of their tracks where, they've had a few that have interesting kind of chants, or they would change things up. They would always have epic songs. And when I think of this song and the way it changes and the length and the kind of the guitar work, it reminds me of 10, I guess, if I had to pick the closest comparison, which for me is a good thing because I've always liked 10. They're one of my favorite bands from the last 20, 25 years. Really one of the few kind of newer bands, although it's not really that new, but that I would listen to. So, I'd be curious to see if you feel the same way on that one. But another great track. The third song is Fantasia, which was, I believe, the third release before the album came out. Cool video. Apparently, from what I could gather from a recent interview with these guys, Freddie Allen's kids are in the video, so I'm sure that was fun for everybody. Really kind of a faster track, another soaring, awesome chorus. I'm going to repeat this over and over, but Alex Falk just, when he soars, the song soars, and the writing is so good. You put those two together, it's just, the chemistry's there. I mean, these guys have it going on. They've got something special. So great guitar solo again. I mean, this album is full of that. Melodic, nice guitar work. Just good musicianship throughout. Okay, the fourth track. This is the one when I saw the track listing, and of course I hadn't heard some of the songs. This was the one that I was most curious about, because how do you write a song or make a song work that's called Sick, Sick, Sick? Well, the song is sick. It's so good. I mean, this song starts off really fast, in your face, great riff. The chorus is catchy, but it's not very long. And I think because of that, I mean, it's like a 4-something minute song, but because they get to things, pretty efficiently, they've got the great guitar solo, all that, but it does slow down partway through. And the part where it does slow down is, I mean, really that could have been the bass kind of music for another song. And it's a great thing about Fans of the Dark. They have 8 songs on the first album, 8 songs on this album, so they're following a similar formula. But when they write these longer songs, it's almost like 2 or 3 songs in one. So even though they have only 16 songs from the 2 albums, it feels like they have 20 or 25 total, because they're so diverse that way. So this one has a nice change of pace, and then it comes back to the awesome chorus. Fantastic song, which leads to another song that was not released before that for me is, I mean, there are many highlights, so this is kind of a highlight out of many highlights from the album, but the 5th track is called Fright Night. And this song is just, I mean, it's pretty incredible. And it reminds me a little bit, not in the way that it sounds, but in the fact that it's pretty dramatic. It reminds me of Escape from Hell from the first album. I always thought that song could have been on stage in some kind of a, bizarre musical or something, because it really had that dramatic element and that soaring chorus. Well, this one, especially when he actually sings the word Fright Night, I totally see that on stage. Great verses, great pre-chorus, awesome melodic rock kind of pre-chorus. And the chorus is great. The solo is great. Just an outstanding song. Maybe at the moment my favorite track. It's hard to say, but there's no let up here. I mean, you think there's going to be a letdown at some point on the album and let us know they're human, but that doesn't really happen here. The 6th track is called Fans of the Dark. I believe that was the 2nd single they released before the album came out. This one to me is a little bit more straightforward, more simple, but it's very solid, very melodic, very catchy. Another great solo. Sounds familiar, right? So just another solid, well above average song. I mean, all these songs just, are, 8, 9, 10 out of 10. All of them. There's just no letting up. 7th track is called Goblin King. This one's a little bit darker. It's definitely got a fast beat. It reminds me a little bit, especially with the solo, a little bit Rainbow-like. I'd be curious to see if you agree with that too, but to me, it sounds Rainbow-ish. What can I say? Just another great song. It just keeps coming. And then finally, the last song on the album, Restless Soul. This is a huge change of pace. I don't know if they've done a song quite like this one. It's slower, it's melodic, it's moody, it's emotional. When I listen to it, I mean, it's the song about finding a lost boy. It makes me think of, you know, early seasons of Stranger Things, season one. And in that interview that they had recently, I mean, they did talk about having Stranger Things and Cobra Kai as an influence, but shows that they like. And just given the subject matter that they like to sing about, I mean, you could see kind of the crossover. So this is a really long song too, but partway through it gets pretty hard, pretty hard melodic rock, which is also great. And then it goes back to the kind of slower, moody chorus, which is another chorus that can get stuck in your head. It's very catchy. So really, 1 through 8, all of them are highlights. This is an album that you will, I mean, once you play it, you'll realize that you really don't want to skip anything. So is it better than the first album? It's pretty close. I mean, to me, the first album is basically a 10 out of 10, and this I would put in the same category. I guess it wouldn't surprise me if I like this one better, but for me, I need to sit with an album for a few months just to see, okay, how does it play over time? There may be some songs here that turn out to be more of my favorite than I'm not really thinking about right now. I mean, any of them could be my favorite. They're just that good. So, I mean, it could be better than the first one. I don't know, but they're both darn near perfect. I mean, what a great way to start your band off with 2 albums like this. So go out and buy the album. You won't be disappointed. I always urge people to go out and, buy the CD or spend some money on it. I think it's really hard to make it as an artist these days unless you're doing these huge tours and charging a bunch of money. So I still like listening to CDs, so I always buy the CD and, play it in my car and that kind of stuff. But do what you can to let these guys make some kind of a living off this so they keep giving us this great music. I would love to see these guys live. I'm in the U.S., so it's hard to get tours like that over here, almost darn near impossible, I think. But I did hear that they're playing their first live performance in their home country of Sweden. It's a Frontiers Records rock festival, so hopefully somebody records that and we can see it. I think they're going to sound awesome live. I really can't wait to hear Alex Falk live with those vocals. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So let me know what you think about the album, but I give it a 10 out of 10. And to me, this not only could have a song of the year from it, to me, this is my front runner for album of the year. There's some other albums out there that are pretty good. I do like the Black Swan Generation Mind album a lot, so that would probably be the one that's kind of running neck and neck with it, but just phenomenal. So let me know what you think. Enjoy listening to it.